Hello and welcome to The Hub. I'm Wang Guan in Beijing. The wait is over. The 2022 Beijing Winter Olympics are officially on. Over 2,800 athletes from 91 countries and regions will battle it out on ice and on snow. But first, all eyes were on China's national stadium known as the Bird's Nest, where the opening ceremony was taking place. Fair to say, it is an opening ceremony like none other. On this very special occasion, we're honored to be joined by Li Lingwei, Vice President of China's Olympic Committee. She's also a member of the International Olympic Committee. Madam Li, great to have you with us here on CGTN. Welcome.
Thank you, Wang Guan.
Good to see you there. Good to see you.
Nice
I've been trying to get you on our show for a long time. Great to have you finally. I understand that you were in the Bird's Nest watching the opening ceremony. What was it like? What do you think about the opening ceremony?
Yes, I was in the Bird's Nest last night and enjoyed the fantastic events with all the friends and not only inside the stadium. I think many people sitting in front of the TV. So I think it's another gala not only for the Chinese people during the festival, and also it's a gala, it's a big event for the whole world. I really enjoyed, and I'm lucky to be there in person.
So, anything that stood out for you, anything that struck you about the opening ceremony? Because it is very different from previous ceremonies.
Yes, as we know that during Tokyo Olympic Games, the opening ceremony, I was there and sitting in the stadium with an empty seating, and I think my feeling was very kind of a mixture, and actually my heart was crying, you know. Because the organizing committee and also the people in Japan, they worked so hard and to get ready for the Olympics, but due to the pandemic, nobody on site, so it was really a pity. So last night was completely different. We had, I think, about 40,000 audience on site. Wow. So it's really good not only for the athletes but also for the Olympic movement.
And then, Madam Li, what do you think about the cauldron lighting ceremony when the torch was placed in the cauldron? That is, unexpected to say the least. Yes. Because I think not only myself has enjoyed the different opening ceremony in different countries, and many IOC members, especially those senior members, they have enjoyed so many opening ceremony. And when the cauldron lighting was the peak of the events, so people had a very high expectation. But last night was completely different from the previous one. So, but after that, I talked with some IOC members. They love it, and they said out of their expectation, but it was innovation, and also the scientific and the technological innovation. So I think maybe from yesterday, we can change the way to do many things. Yeah, I mean, the ceremony was still being talked about by people around the world. On one hand, I personally think it is very Chinese in many ways. We saw the Chinese children, passing the national flag, and also the Chinese elements, the 24 Jieqi on the Chinese lunar calendar. But also, it has a sense, has a touch of, being globally minded. The 19 classical songs being played when the Parade of Nations were taking place.
the snowflake, the big snowflake, consisting of 91 participating nations and regions, certainly showing that China has the whole world in mind.
Yes, I think the opening ceremony yesterday was not completely, but I think it's different from the 2008 Olympic Games. I heard from some senior IOC members. I really try to get what they are feeling, and they said actually there was no comparison. Each one has its unique element. So for the 2008 opening ceremony, actually during that time I was in charge of the service and for the 220 NOCs. So actually I was working behind the curtain, not like yesterday, just sitting there, enjoy the whole program. But when I was sitting there, a lot of memories came to my mind 14 years ago. So I really enjoyed and cherished the moment.
Yeah, you know, that's really leading to my next question. Beijing has now officially become the dual Olympic city, 双奥之城, and you were very much involved in both games. Like you said, as Deputy Director in charge of International Liaison in 2008, and now as Vice President of China's Olympic Committee, how would you compare the 08 Games with the current 2022 Games? What kind of a feel does the current game bring you? What kind of memories does this game bring you?
Personally speaking, I think the two games I played a different role. And for 2008, just I mentioned during the opening ceremony, I not only provided service for the NOCs, but also I was the IOC flag bearer. But I think that time, for myself and also the people from the organizing committee, not as confident like today. I think the opening ceremony tried to show in the world what's the China, what's the culture. But yesterday, I think quite simple. But there is a saying, simple is not simple. With more emotional and the program or the the program touched your feeling, and you can feel your heart connected with others. So I really enjoy the program.
Madam Li, let's talk about the challenges in putting together the Winter Olympics. Around the world, people have different opinions about China's zero COVID policy. You know, some think this is very strict, maybe too strict, you know. But the fact is, since COVID, the Beijing Winter Olympics is one of the very few global sporting events that proceeded, that is taking place as scheduled, which really serves the best interests of none other than athletes. After all, it's their competitive career that is at stake. I'm sure it's not as easy as it looks to put together such a big event. What specific challenges did you and your colleagues and the organizing committee overcome to stage these games?
Yes, actually, I think we could imagine how difficult it is. I think not only for the organizing committee and not only for the people working in Beijing, actually also was a huge challenge for the IOC, for the international federations, and for the national Olympic committees. Of course, most challenge for our athletes, because in the past 2 years or almost more than 2 years, the athletes couldn't, in some countries, couldn't participate in competitions and even affect their routine daily life. So finally, they are here. So I think the participation is more than they win the games. So as long as they gathering in Beijing, just like 2 days before I accompanied the President Bach, we had a tour in the village. So we had a meal in canteen. So the athletes, they were so excited, not only gathering in Beijing, and they can perform, try their best to perform in the best way.
Yeah, I saw some videos on the internet, on TikTok, showing the global athletes cheering up, making fun, having a good time in the Olympic Village. Like you said, yeah. Madame Li, you spent quite some time with IOC President Thomas Bach during his stay in Beijing this time around. Other than what's being reported by the press, any interesting things he said about the Beijing Olympics or about China that you could perhaps share with us?
Yeah, the president, he is very, how to say, for me, I think just like elder brother. He very kind to everyone, and he makes a joke with some athletes, especially in the village or in the competition venue. So when he met the athletes, it seems he back to many years ago, like athletes, so very close to the athletes. So actually, he is the leader of the Olympic movement, but he was an athlete. He was an Olympic champion, and the relationship with China, I think. It's very close. He has paid many time visit, not only to Beijing and to other cities, and especially he enjoys very spicy food.
Oh, really?
In China. And once we had a tour to Sichuan, and the local people was surprised. Huh. He could enjoy such a strong, spicy food, even better than the local people.
Really?
Anyway.
Wow. So, Madame Li, in 2008, its official slogan is One World, One Dream. And currently, the 2022 Games has a slogan of Together for a Shared Future. So, how would you tell people living outside China about China's contribution to the international Olympic movement?
I think we, from the very beginning, we decided to bid for the Olympic Games. I think the Chinese people become more and more involved in the sports, and Olympic movement become more familiar with the ordinary people. I think many times years ago, when I was a player, so I think a lot of Chinese people only watch or enjoy the competition from the TV or outside. But nowadays, they have changed their attitude. They try to participate, not only to enjoy on the spring. So I think the participation is become more and more popular. And also, people in China not only focus on the Chinese athletes won the gold medals, but also focus on how the athletes' performance. So it means they really enjoy the sport, not only focus on the medals.
Yeah, we heard from the Chinese president saying that he personally thinks it is more important to have more people enjoying winter sports than how many medals, gold medals, the athletes garner in these games. China says it wants to engage 300 million Chinese in winter sports. How has the Beijing Olympics, in your opinion, inspired grassroots participation in winter sports?
Yeah, I think compared to the Summer Olympic Games, I mean summer sports, our country quite not as popular as the winter sports in European country. But I think after Beijing's Winter Games winter sports will become more and more popular, and I really hope to see more kids like we watched on opening ceremony. Those kids will become the future, not only become the future athletes in winter sports, but will become kinds of hobby in their life. So participation also is very important.
You are the most decorated female Chinese athlete in history, and I mean it literally. You won 48 major titles, including 13 world titles in badminton. What is it like watching these athletes today competing, battling it out? What do you want to say to the Chinese Olympians?
You know, when I first won the champion, actually more than 40 years ago. So 40 years.
Which year was it? 1980?
Yes, 1980, I won the first national champion and also the champion of Asian badminton competition.
Wow.
Yeah, so that time I was 16. More than 40 years, I often told to myself, I was so lucky. I'm a lucky woman to grow up, to witness the change of our country, to witness the change of the world, and also the development of sport. So I really cherish what I have enjoyed. And I think nowadays the champion, I mean the athletes, quite different from our age, because the whole society has been changed so rapidly. So I think their life more enjoyable, and for our athletes, I mean in China, they are not only practice to get a good performance and winning a medal, and their life more enjoyable and more colorful. And even after they are retired, there are many choices to continue their wonderful life.
I mean, you continued your wonderful life as a sports management official, sitting also in the IOC.
Yeah, for me, I think because during my career, badminton was not the official program on the Olympics, so I couldn't participate in the Olympic Games.
It was not until 1992 Barcelona, right? And that's
right.
when you are already retired.
Yes.
So was that a regret?
No. So I think if I participate and I lost, it will be a regret. So I just enjoy my career.
Well, many would say that they don't think you will lose, but that is a good answer. Finally, anything you want to say to our viewers around the world watching these Beijing Winter Olympics?
Actually, I always follow your program. You know, I try to practice. Yeah, try to practice my English and try to.
It is great, by the way.
And try to understand what other people, I mean, from a different country, how to look at China. But for me, I think not only through the media to understand what the China is. Please come to China. I mean, so when the pandemic is over or in the future, come to China and to see through your own eyes, to understand the real culture of China and to try the real Chinese food in China.
All right. On that happy note, thank you very much, Madame Li. Thank you for your time.